Good afternoon, brother and sister Dhamma. I hope you can hear my voice. Okay, today I'm trying my best to cover for those year one, the junior part one. But your brother TC Lim asked me to do also for the year two one, the Dhamma part two, for those who have can't remember for those on the previous year one. So this is to help you to recover or recall back whatever you have learned previously, because your year two one, this part two will also cover part of the to understand the earlier part one syllabus. So go through the motion and then try to recall as much as you can. But for those part one students for taking the exam one, please, I'm giving you is just a brief summary of the one whole year of the Dhamma course. So you need to go back and dig back all your notes and read through thoroughly. And then this coming year one, we can't predict what the question are coming, because not set by me, set by the boy in Sri Lanka. So please go and revise back whatever you have not done so, okay, over the last 4 years. So please go and read again. Okay, so we start the class. So for junior part one, we'll commence now. Okay, remember 4 years back, we talked about the first affirmation, how this Buddha in his previous existence was called Sumedha. He was born in a Brahmin family, and then he also renounced. So he gave up his wealth to the poor, and he retired in a Himalaya forest and ascetic. I mean, those hermits. So in one occasion, he met this, he happened to know that this Buddha Dipankara coming to this city of Lama. So he has a great chance of meeting this Buddha at that period. So everybody was preparing a lot of things for the Buddha to come and welcome him to that town. So this hermit Sumedha, he was thinking of himself, what can he do? So he let himself lay on the muddy ground, because in the old town, the road is not well managed. So there are plenty of holes and muddy ground on every corner. So our Buddha, that time under Sumedha, will lie down for himself, for the Buddha to walk over him, in order to not to dirty this so-called Buddha Dipankara. So he said to himself, may I be able to attain full enlightenment like this Buddha and be service to mankind. This is whenever you do anything good, you want to have something like as inspiration for yourself. I mean, to gain something, to do this act, especially give dana, all these things. You doing it, you must have this kind of thoughts. Wow, you want to aspire to do something like that. So when you perform this act will have high merits for you to create in the future. So this is what he did. So our Dipankara Buddha crossed over him and looked into him that this hermit Sumedha has a very good future, and they foresee him will be a next Gautama Buddha, because Buddha have high foresight, so you can see this coming Buddha will be Gautama Buddha. So our ascetic Sumedha started to fulfill perfection to be Buddha. He already done it previous life. So this life he can do another couple of them. So we carry on doing. Because as a Buddha is not so easy. You must qualify to be a Buddha. So every existence you perfect his perfection. Then what happened? Then upon this existence, he passed away, and he is now staying in the Tusita heaven, or what I call them. So at this particular time, while dwelling there, he was invited by Devas to be sent to the human world for his Buddhahood, because he's staying there for time being there. Then it's the right time for him to come down to be a Buddha. So before he can born as a Buddha, he had 5 great survey: the time, continent, district, family, and mother. So your brother Lim has said this one of question like this. So it's similar to what I can't recall the question, the 5 of them. So this is the Maha one. So every Buddha that come upon the next rebirth will have this thing to select. Okay. So for him, he select the kingdom of Kalivatu, and then he born under Sakyang clan, and then his mother is Queen Mahamaya. So this mother is specialized only to have only born Buddha, bear the Buddha, and then after that, her life is gone. Okay, just only job is to make this Buddha to be a human, and then she will go to a heavenly world. So how this Bodhisattva is conceived? So he conceived in the early morning under the Urasha on the full moon of Asha. That means the period between July and August. Okay. These are all taken from the YMBA text. If you can remember the Pali word, all this. If you cannot, if you writing, then write in English, July to August. Okay. So have to remember, I don't know YMBA will test you all this Pali word. They pray Pang review, they'll set all this, so you don't remember all these things. And then on this very occasion when Buddha was born, there was an earthquake. Okay? And then there are also 32 other miracles to occur at the same moment. So you see just how fantastic and how great is it. So this Bodhisattva was born at an auspicious time. And then before this birth occurred, Queen Mahamaya, she dreamt of this white elephant with a white lotus on the trunk. Then encircle her, then enter the right side of her womb. Right? This is what she dreamt of this, how this our Bodhisattva going to be born into her. So this Brahmin priest predicted that this dream as a fortunate son that could be a king, universal monarch, I mean a very great king, or a Buddha. You know, in the old time, women who are going to give birth, they request to be born, I mean to conceive the baby at the in-law place. Okay, so this queen in the typical tradition requested the king to let her visit her parents at Devadaha. Okay, so this is how you can slowly recall this being spoken something like 4 years back. So along the journey from Katibatu to Devadaha, I mean the distance between the place she's staying and the parents' place, at this Lumini grove of grown, there's a period, the season, the salak tree are in full bloom. I mean, all are flowering. It's so beautiful. And it's so beautiful that the queen wished to rest at this park. And then she hold a branch of this Mangala salak tree full of flowers, because she was appreciating the scene and also loved the fragrant smell of this branch, and then she hold on it. And then at this particular moment, the labor pains came upon her, and our Bodhisattva was conceived while she holding the branch. I mean, the mother was holding the branch at the same time letting the baby out. So it was said, this was said in the text, the Brahma Sahapati, what I call the Tikong Sahapati, he came down to receive the newborn baby on a golden neck and placed on the 4 guardian deities. This Sutaten one, 4 guardian deities came to the same place too. And then they passed the net to these 4 guardians, and then this is passed to the attendants. So all these detail, you need to go back and go and study thoroughly, because I'm giving you just a brief rundown of all what happening. Okay, just to make you recall. So what is said in the text is that this baby Bodhisattva, the moment he was conceived, he able to came down and walk and took 7 steps. And each step he sprang a full-bloom lotus to symbolize what? He raised his right finger and uttered this verse of joy that this will be his last birth. That means he will no more be reborn. Okay? That's why he was so happy and after this verse, and then you got to remember the verse. I can't print everything for you. So okay, go back and rehearse yourself again. Okay, take your time. Okay, you still got another 4 months to go. So we come now next to childhood. So this ascetic Asita, he was associated with this this king this Bodhisattva king there is Sudodana. He was associated with Sudodana, and now he at this particular time when the baby was conceived, he was at this Tawa Dim Sum heaven, and then he was working by his noon rest because this Deva will rejoice that a future Buddha was born. Then everybody was happy. Then because of this happiness, wake up this Asita. So Asita knew that he heard this news and quickly he designed from the heavenly realm and then to the King Sodana palace. So upon arriving there, the king was very happy to receive him and brought the child to see him. So the child was brought to pay respect to Asita. You know what happened? The child feet, it turned and planted themselves into the metal locks of the ascetic. That means the beard of this ascetic. You know, this Indian guru, they having long beard. So this baby curl all his lock into his bow legs. So this has a signified meaning. So instantly the ascetic foresee this child future is very great. And what happened next? He bowed down and saluted to him with joint hands. So when the father, King Sodana, saw this thing happening, he too respect what this ascetic doing and follow him, and also pay respect to this child. So this was the first time the father pay respect to this future Buddha, which is now known as a Bodhisattva. Okay, so all the detail, go back and read. I just need run the surface. It's a very long, 1 hour can cover everything. And then our ascetic, know what happened next? He knew that this potential child would be a Buddha, that he would die before the Bodhisattva become a Buddha. So he expressed himself, he smiled at the success of this prince, and he himself wept as unable to see the child attain enlightenment. So that means he can see the Bodhisattva, but he cannot appreciate the fruit of this Buddha when he was enlightened later on, because he will be passed away soon. So Asita reflected whether any of his relatives could be gained to gain tutelage, that means under the tutorship of this future Buddha. So he was in his mind, he can start searching. Then he found that his nephew Nalaka to retire worldly life and be a monk waiting for the future Buddha to appear. So this nephew Nalaka is one of the 5 disciples. He was waiting for the chance for see this future Buddha. So this nephew Nalaka retired in the Himalayan mountains, waiting for the opportunity to join the order of this Gautama Buddha. So he goes into some sort of like hibernation and waiting for the sun to come out. And following this, you need to remember all these events one after another. What is next? So next comes the naming ceremony. So upon the 5th day after the prince's birth, and he was named Siddhartha. Siddhartha means wish fulfilled. I mean everything granted. So on this very big occasion, they invited many of these Brahmin priests in India. Brahmin priests are used as astrologers also to predict things, to see the future of this boy, what he's like. So there were 108 Brahmin priests who invited, but only 8 distinguished were selected to examine the body marks of the baby. So they, by looking at the physical body of the baby, they determine what kind of character he will be. So 7 of these 8 gurus, or what I call the 6, 7 of them raised 2 fingers and predicted that this baby will be a universal monarch or a Buddha. So they are not sure, either one of the case. But the youngest one, Godana, one of the youngest of the priests, who excel in others in wisdom, because he has a special attainment of wisdom, he noticed the hair on the forehead of this baby turned to right, and then he confidentially said and sincerely said that he will declare the child would retire from the world and become a Buddha. So only one of them said he will definitely be a Buddha. So all these things will worry the father, because the father also wants him, the child, to be a king, to succeed him. So as in the 5 things we selected, Queen Mahamaya passes away. So according to the 5 great observers, the queen passed away after the Bodhisattva birth. That means 7 days. So the queen only can survive till 7 days. So on 7th day, this queen will be departed. So the queen departed, having performed this noble duty of giving birth, passed away and born into Sita heaven. Okay, so the poor child got no mother. So this queen who had a sister who is also the consort, one of the wife of this King Godana. So Maha Pajapati Gotama, the younger sister of the queen, became the foster mother and treated him as her own son. Okay, so now become the mother who totally take care of him. So she has also her own son and daughter. So there is about how these things happen. So go back and read some more. There are more things than this. Then next event, the plowing festival. King Sudana, this Indian, they have this yearly plowing festival. Until today, they are still celebrating, where all the royals and the mass of people was held in a field. This they call the paddy field. Mostly they plant rice. So they were held in the paddy field. So this event was to make it very grand. So our prince, this baby, Prince Siddhartha, was taken and sheltered under a tree by the attendants. So all the rest all busy performing this ceremony. Our prince was under one tree under the care of the attendant. So out of curiosity of everyone, everyone was looking at this event and then abandoned this baby. So you left him, and this baby came out to see a spender and left the prince alone. So the prince was alone by himself. So this prince is not a normal baby. So this prince are already perfect in many lives. So this prince under the rose apple tree was to feel a grief because he saw this lot of unpleasant things, like we plow the field, all the insects coming out, the bird will eat, then something will eat something. You see the thing very, very sad, because this is a fact of life, that everything one depend on each other. So when you plow the field, the worms come out, the insect will eat, and one after another. So with the close observation of the insects, animal, and hard labor men, they're tilling the field, working on the fields, he sat by himself, cross-legged and mindfully in meditation mode. At this moment, he achieved the very first jhana and in this existence. So question may ask about when it happened the first jhana. This is very important event because in the later state when he practiced the austeric, all the practices of no use, he come back and observe, recall this moment, and then that's how he took the middle path. So under this deep meditation, absorption, it was so beautiful that he attracted the attendants and the reporter, and this attendant report to the king. Then the king, for the second time, he pays salute to the 5-year-old son. Okay? So at 5-year-old, the son, our king, also pay respect to this particular son. So remember, all this will be, you have to recall when and when they will test you on this. So for year 2, remember, if they do recall come and haunt you, you must remember all this by heart. So when the prince was 8 years old, he was under the tutorship of this Brahmin, who is a learned teacher called Samamitra. So this prince soon master all the arts and sciences in a short period of time, because in the previous existence, he was a perfect. He was perfecting every of these paramis. So for him, learning is no problem to him. So he has no problem learning. So this was due to the prince's past experience and knowledge that accumulate to fulfilling the perfection in a long cycle of birth. That's why you see some people learning very fast, pick up very fast, because in the past he has this called paramis, they're perfecting. So whenever you see those people learning or no problem don't jealous or envy on them, because the previous time they practice, so do you. So you must also carry on doing. So further down the road, other teachers were also engaged to train the prince in sport and all skills, including bows and arrows, what they call martial art. Whatever the warrior trap, they need all these skills for survival. So the prince to learn all these skills. So we talk about the youth. How about youth time? So our King Sodana, because he remember the prediction from the Brahmin priest, he was worried the son as go older about the foresight predicted by this Brahmin priest. He said, you see the foresight, your son will be a Buddha. So he was worrying that how to stop this coming in. So he wanted the son to be the universal monarch, then take over his throne, and told his minister, from today onwards, no old man, no sick man, no dead bodies, and no monks are allowed to pass through the city gates. So all these are totally banished. So in a way, the son is staying in the four wall, and then he will never able to see the chance to see all these things happening. So what the king did is that he provided all the pleasant comfortable life to the prince, in good food, best clothing, and various ways to amuse the prince. And then the king even built a 3-season palace for different occasions. So 3 different palaces to enjoy life. So this bodhisattva will have no suffering. So things like servant, plenty of servant, maids, musician, dancing girl, to make pleasure for him to enjoy. So the prince can forget about renunciation. Okay? So all these things is to stop the prince from becoming a hermit. And then follow that, as he grew older, the father was thinking more. So you are arranging a marriage for this son. So when married, you tie down the son, you will never think about renunciation. So the father arranged a very occasion for a marriage ceremony. So he called all those royals, the daughters to be present. There were so many according to the text. You read through the notes. There are so many, all waiting for the hand of marriage from this prince. So among all, he married the cousin Yasoda, the daughter of King Supabuddha. Then this Yasoda, the wife, was the same age as him, because all this happening, Yasoda, all these people all come together to make our Buddha. So all these things all the fantastic story, all happen at the same time. Even Adana, all are born at the same era for this our Buddha to be with them, so all of them can get enlightened. So in the presence of all the relative and large number of spectators, our prince have to show his martial skill, and then 18 C plus and other sciences. So our prince is almost a complete person. I mean, he knows everything. So what happened next is that he give to all the ladies that are present on that particular day. Right? And until the moment he ran out of gifts. So our last one, his cousin Yasoda came. So what happened next? Because he was impressed by this King Yasoda, then he took off his string of valuable jewels from his neck and tied around Yasoda's waist. So from observation, all the minister just that the winner of selecting the brides is this Yasoda. So Yasoda was confirmed as the bride of this Bodhisattva. So run down again, we can't think so much. Next one, 4 great sights. So next one is the 4 great sight. What happened? You know, you can stop people from enjoyment, all that, but you can't stop things to happen. So the same thing happened. The prince wished to see the world outside the palace. So he asked his charioteer to accompany him, Channa. Channa also born to the same time to meet this Buddha. To encounter, sorry, typo error, with the stark realities of life. This happened when they stepped out of the palace. They saw all these foresight. So how they prevent it, and there's a story behind it. It said that all these deities is the right time for them to come out from the palace, out of the 4 walls to see the outside world. So it was said in the text that these deities help them to come out, and then in each trip he encountered various sights. You need to know very important. Always test you a year one. Old man, sick man, then a corpse, and the dignified hermit. So all these 4 things make him make a final decision. So every side of this he questioned Channa on the realities of life, and then Channa will tell him these are the fact of life that you will one day become old, you'll be a sick man, and one day you'll be dead as a corpse. And then he's talking about hermit. Hermit is about last time it's not monks only, they are called this ascetic. They are away from the worldly life. So in India it's very common. So we're understanding the inexorable nature of life and the universal sickness of humanity. So as a human, you sure have to meet this, and you have to come to the end of life. So the 4th sight signified means to overcome his ill of life and attain calm and peace. So the 4th sight make him finally to realize that his life in the under the 4 walls is just an illusion. So our prince have decided to find the answer to end all this suffering, and then he find that the 4th one, 4th sight is suitable for him. So he has selected the 4th one. So this is the turning point for him to become somebody else. As you know, time play a significant role. So in this role, this prince Rahula was born. So he realized that his so-called life enjoyment of this sensual pleasure is worthless, and the value of renunciation in which the wise seek delight. I mean, he like to find answer above desire. So he made up his mind to leave this palace to search the truth and find the peace. So when the news of the birth of the son was conveyed to him, he was, unlike other father, he would be overjoyed, but he was not overjoyed. He regarded first and only offspring as an impediment, obstruction for him. He find his son coming at the wrong moment, that become a really big obstacle for him. So he make a statement, an impediment, Rahu has been born, a fetter has arisen. So Rahu means fetter, an obstruction for him. So that's why the son took this name. So the infant son was accordingly named Ahula by his grandfather, King Sudana. Right? So this is how the story runs. So detail, go back and read. Then, when he was coming back to the palace, this particular royal, Kisa, was on upper story of a palace and saw the prince. Then she remarked this, happy indeed is that mother, happy indeed is that, should be father. I typed wrongly. You go and check the text. Should be father. One is father, one is mother. And happy indeed is that wife who has a husband like this. So the word Nibbutta came up. This is a Pali stanza. It came up from this lady's mouth. And this Nibbutta enlightened our Buddha. Our future Buddha. So the prince heard this utterance. He took it. Instead of this meaning, he took it. When fire of lust and delusion is extinguished, Nibbutta means extinguished, then only the heart truly happy. When you extinguish the fire, then the heart is really happy. So I must renounce the world and seek after the true happiness, that means Nibbana. So what the lady remarked is a different interpretation to our prince. The prince take the Nibbutta as the threshold to turn him to renounce. So the prince took his pearl necklace and asked Chanda to give it to Kisa. Kisa thought that the prince sent it out for the love of her. So it's a different thing. Yes, he wants to thank you for enlightening him. So all this, you have got to remember, go back and read the notes. So upon returning to the palace, the prince lay down on his bed. And then, as you know, troops of dancing girls dance and sing for him to enjoy. But he soon fell asleep. So when the prince woke up and saw the disgusting of the loathsome appearance of dancing girls surrounding him, because all these people now already tired, so they sleep anyhow in a way, what a disgrace to him, and he gets so sick of it. So our prince made up his final mind to make a great renunciation immediately. So he called Chandra to saddle his horse, Katanga, to leave the palace. Right? So they decide this is a good time to leave. So before leaving, these prince have to go and visit the wife and son. So he visited Yasoda, was sleeping with a hand placed over the body of the son. At first, he was thought of touching the son, but because he was hold tightly to the wife, he feared that when any moment will wake up the wife to look at his son for the last time, he left without seeing his son. So he saw the wife thinking to the son that he looked the last peep, and then he left without seeing the true face of the son. He left just seeing the legs. So he mounted his horse Katanga and accompanied by Chanda. So all this, read to your notes, I have a total of what happening. So he came out of the city southeast gate quietly with the assistant, because this Deva are all ready to shelter him and avoid all those people to seeing him living at the middle watch of the night. So he left quietly without anybody noticing it. Then, as you know, Mara always come and intervene him. So Mara suddenly appear and watch and persuade the prince to stay back. These are all what I call the mind. The mind, when we doing something, this mind will have what I call Mara to come and disturb you. I mean, ask you not to do it. So our this Mara told him, there's a king for you to take over, of a big empire for you to enjoy. Why you going to renounce? So our Mara can disturb him. But our prince have a firm desire to attain enlightenment, to become a Buddha, that he has no interest of all these worldly things. So Mara warned him, even if not interested, he will come when the prince was weakened by lust, hatred, or unkind thought. So the prince having all these thought, our Mara will come and disturb him. So at the age of 29, he left the royal family. The prince said, for the last time, after looking back to his hometown, that he will return again after overcoming age, sickness, and death. That means he's the answer for all these worldly problems. That's why he only come back when he get enlightened. So next we'll talk about he becoming ascetic. During that time, most of the people find answer is to become an ascetic. I mean, you live in the life of a wandering hermit. You have no fixed place to stay. You have no, you depend on meals from others, and you live everywhere that you can find a shelter. So after crossing this river Anoma, he told Jana that he'll be leading an ascetic life. So he asked Jana to hand over all his valuable stuff, the ornaments, regalia, and the horse to Jana to give it back to the father. And then to inform the father he will be ascetic. But Jana requested to be his companion, but he turned it down by the prince, because he need him to send his message to the family. So at this moment, our prince cut his hair with a sword and said that his hair will remain in the sky if he able to attain enlightenment. Then you know what happened? When the moment he threw out his hair lock was received by Saka and placed in the ruling chamber in Tawa Timsam. These are all the given the text. Please go and go back and read. So our Mahal Brahma Katikara, this is another deity. Because he will become a ascetic. So this is a typical 8 requisite of a monk. So as the prince are now becoming a ascetic. So all these 8 requisite was given according to the text for the prince to be a monk. So Jana with all the things the prince left behind, and the horse Katangha. And when the horse saw the shadow of this prince leaving, the horse paid the last respect, and he died of heartbroken sadness after the prince's departure. I mean, horse also died at the very moment when this bodhisattva disappeared. This one is the 1 whole year life history of Buddha. So first year, you go back, better go and read everything again. Right? You like it, don't like it, please read. Because after 4 years, I don't know what kind of question they're going to set. You need to read through thoroughly again. You got 4 more months, please go and back and read. Okay, next one, we go to the great qualities of our Buddha. Just follow. First quality is wisdom. Our Buddha is known for his profound wisdom, which he gained through the years of meditation and contemplation. And then he understood the nature of suffering and cause of suffering. He taught the followers how to overcome it, and mean the 4 noble truths. That is what Buddha teach. Then compassion. Buddha had a good compassion for all sentient beings, and his teaching that he emphasized the importance of developing compassion and loving kindness towards all beings. Compassion, one good example is Angulimala. The moment he want to kill his own mother, and Buddha, with the compassion, you know that he can be safe. So he appeared for this Angulimala to chase after him. And at the end, he able to convince Angulimala from a murderer to be an Arahant. Clarity. Buddha's teaching are clear and concise and use simple direct language to convey his message. He was able to explain complex philosophical concepts in a way was easy understood by his listener. One great example. Remember the story of this brother. One was very good in the so-called sutta. He able to recall all the sutta and recite. But the other brother was so bad that he got zero knowledge. And Buddha taught him the simple thing, sweeping the floor. By sweeping the floor, he able to sweep all the dirt away and sweep all the stains and sweep all the defilement. That they even surpass the brother and become an Arahant. So you see, Buddha that time has special knowledge. What kind of people require what kind of teaching. So only when the next Buddha comes, then we have a chance. We have to start going by text. And the other qualities of Buddha is fearlessness. Our Buddha was fearless in his pursuit of truth and enlightenment. He faced many challenges and obstacles on his path. He is known for his courage and determination in the face of adversity. I mean, whatever danger, especially in the case of the charging Buddha, in our later life history of Buddha, Devadatta released one fierce elephant and charged the Buddha. Even our Buddha got no fear that the elephant came upon him and take a bow on him when right at the front of our Buddha. This shows Buddha has no fear. The other, humility. Despite his profound wisdom and accomplishment, the Buddha remained humble and approachable. He saw himself as just another person on the path to enlightenment. That he encouraged his followers to do the same. Our Buddha never in the teaching that he said, claim that whatever he said is one and only truth. Buddha always, unlike other religion, he said, my only, what I spoken is the truth. Other religion are false. Buddha never, he don't even force you to become to join his so-called Buddhism. Pasiko, come and see for yourself. He never force you on. Okay, for year one, all these you must remember the 9 great qualities of Buddha. Okay, I know it's difficult. How many rice bowls you do eat? But don't eat one day, I sure choke to death. You have to every day over the next from next month onward to June, exactly 4 months. Please go back and read and refresh yourself. Arahant. What is Arahant? Worthy or deserving of honor and respect. All these are Arahant. I mean, you respect him because of his conduct, that you salute to him. So our Buddha is something worthy for us to respect. Samma Sambuddho. Sambuddho means fully awakened or enlightened. And Vichana Sammano, perfect in knowledge and conduct. Our Buddha has a perfect knowledge. He speaks only the truth. Sugato, well done, or leading others to the right path. Our Buddha will never lead you to the wrong path. He lead you to the path that will end your suffering. And then Lokavidu, an expert in the world of knowledge about the nature of reality. He always explain what is the thing that happening in this actual world. And then Anutaro Purisa Dhamma Sarati, surpass the training of those who can be trained or able to guide and lead others. Our Buddha able to handle any person, whatever kind of IQ you have, he can able to guide you to the path. And then Deva Nusam Santa is a teacher of both human and divine beings. You know, these gods also came to Buddha to seek for advice and knowledge on how to end suffering. Gods also got suffering, right? They are not above everything. So our Buddha, in a way, help them. That's why you see in many sutta, gods approaching Buddha for advice. And Buddha, the word, is enlightened with knowledge that belongs to the fruit of liberation. And Bhagawa, blessed or possessing great spiritual qualities. So these 9 qualities, it may be test you. So all these Pali words, you need to go and refresh yourself and remember back. I think most of you can, because you chant this, you should be able to understand it. So I hope no problem for you all. Then you talk about the 6 quality of Dhamma. Sahawako, the Dhamma is well expounded and well defined by the Buddha. These are all the verses you need to remember. Then Sandhiko, the Dhamma is visible here and now, immediately and experiential. Akaliko, the benefits of Dhamma are timeless and not limited by time or space. I already mentioned Ehipasiko. The Dhamma invites all to come and see for yourself, to experience the truth firsthand. That's why our Buddhists, nobody force you to be Buddhist. You come and experience yourself. Opanaiko, capable of being entered upon, leading to Nirvana. So you follow this, the result will be ending in Nirvana. Venuhi Pachatam Vinitaba. The Dhamma is leading one to realization of truth and to be realized by each wise person for themselves. So if you follow according to Buddha teaching and you are a wise man, you will soon claim that this is the correct path. Okay, so Buddha Dhamma Sangha, all this is my member for year 1. And for year 2, they try to be funny, test this. No choice. You want to pass, you also have to remember. So all these YMBA courses, it's not you just take year 1 or year 2, you can forget, but it will continue until the 5th year. So you need to constantly refresh yourself, right? So for Sangha, so Patipana, orderly and disciplined. The monk are orderly and disciplined time. Uju Patipana, straightforward or upright. And all these monks got no second thought, all are on the correct kind of thinking. Naya Patipana, wise conduct. And Sami Patipana, dutiful conduct. And Chatari Purisa Yugani Atta Purisa Pugala. Here it talk about 4 pair of person. I mean the string winner, once returner, non-returner, and Arahant, right? Remember all this is a Buddhist kind of enlightenment. But if you take in the Abhidhamma sense, there is a Magga and Pala food. So this taking all these 4 kind of person, you constitute 8 person when considered as winners of the Magga path and the Pala food of each state. So total 8. Anuniya, worthy of offering. Panuniya, worthy of hospitality. I mean, for you to take care of them in homes or whatever. Nakiniya, worthy of alms. Because you find them, they are qualified to give alms to them. And Ajani Kaniya, worthy of homage. I mean, you need homage as respect to them. Okay, so these 9 qualities of Sangha, please remember. I don't know how the question can say, but if you have forgotten, please go back and revise. You got 4 months for you to remember back. Okay, especially for year 1 student. Okay, very fast. I come to the first Buddhist council. The first Buddhist council in the Theravada tradition was held shortly after 3 months after the passing away of Buddha at this Sati Pani cave in Rajagaha. I here giving you just brief one. You need to know the detail of what happening in the first Buddhist council. The council was called by Mahakassapa. He was one of the Buddha's most senior disciple. His aim is to preserve the Buddha's teaching, the Dhamma, and establish a consensus on the teachings among the community of monks, the Sangha. Because when you go to year 2, you will know that this remark after Buddha passed away of this old monk, that Mahakassapa was forced to, because if not, every monk for their own kind of thinking. So the council was attended by 500 senior monks who had attained at least the state of arahantship or full enlightenment. And you need to, in the assembly, to be attain this qualification. So the most important outcome of the council was the compilation of this Sutta Pitaka, which contained the discourse of Buddha, and the Vinaya Pitaka, which contained the rules of conduct of the monks. So first council, mostly these two. The council also established a system of recitation, or what I call Panakas. I mean, last time not in written form, even Pali is not written form, is language, something like our Hokkien and Teochew Cantonese. And it is memorized to ensure that the teaching will be transmitted accurately from one generation of monk to the next. So, on the first Buddhist council, this is also a typical Indian learning, master to student. So the first Buddhist council is considered as an important event in the history of Buddhism, as it established the precedent for the compilation and preservation of the Buddha teaching and paved the way for the spread of Buddhism throughout Asia. So first Buddhist council, I don't know which council they will say, you need to remember all the 3 councils for first year student. For second year one, remember all the 6, right? And they can come and haunt you, and put the first Buddhist council, you remember the 3, 4, 5, 6, you cannot remember first one of this. Right? So everybody taking the YMBA, please go and revise. Second Buddhist council taken place around 100 years after the Buddha Parinirvana. The council was held at this Wasali under the patronage of King Kalasoka. The council was convened to resolve a dispute over the Vinaya, I mean the monk discipline rules, the monastery code of conduct. So these Vachi monks trying to deviate from what the traditional monks been practicing. So a group of monks known as Vachi Puttakas has started to interpret the Vinaya in their own way. I mean, suka-suka, they change, and deviating from the orthodox interpretation, followed by the majority of monks. So this monks are very funny. So they are trying, Buddha passed away, so they can do whatever they want. So they believe that certain rules, such as prohibition on consumption of alcohol, eating after noon, are not essential for attaining the enlightenment. Please go back. Remember what are all the infringement. Then more than this, please go and remember. I can't give you everything, but there's no time. I need to cover within 1 hour, finish everything. Please go back and read. So majority of monks led by this elder Yasa and the venerable Mongali Putta Tissa disagree with these Vachiputtas and consider their interpretation to be erroneous. I mean, all these are false. So they also authenticate this second Buddhist council on the Vinaya, also the whole Tipitaka. I give you just brief summary. Please go back and read. Please go back and read. Detail one. After much debate and discussion, the council unanimously adopted the orthodox, follow the original teaching of the Vinaya, and the Vachiputtas were expelled from the Sangha. So all those who don't obey this were expelled from the Sangha. And they later, because of this problem, they formed their own kind of sect. Buddhist separation from the main tradition. So the Sangha rehearsed all the Tipitaka texts to be authenticated and refuted various philosophical and doctrinal views that emerged among the Sangha. So all these, not in the Buddha thought, they come and bring it in, all are rejected. So in order to preserve the purity and authenticity of the Buddha's teaching and monastic discipline. So this is the importance of Second Buddhist Council. Let's go back and read more detail of what happening in this Second Buddhist Council. And you come to the Third Buddhist Council. It taken place about 250 years after the Buddha's parinirvana. The council was held as Asokarama Monastery in Pataliputra, the capital of Maurya Empire. Under the patronage of Emperor King Asoka. So the council recommended the ruler Asoka to expel 60,000 heretical monks, as well as re-evaluate the Tipitaka by monk Mongalitiputta. There's two problems here. First, all the monks, because Asoka support the Buddhism, many of these monks, Tom, Dick, and Harry all join in. So become rojak. So some monks follow, some monks don't follow. And then this elderly monk, Mongalitiputta, he want to make sure everybody follow the same teaching. So in the 17th year of this Emperor Asoka, the third Buddhist council was called in. And then the one who preside this is Tera Mongalitiputta Tissa, who headed the proceeding and chose 1,000 monks from the 60,000 participants for the traditional recitation of Dhamma and the Vinaya, which went on for 9 months. And this is all this, what happened, timing, all this, and whispering, all you need to go back and read thoroughly. The purpose is to refuse a number of theories, all these wrong teachings, and ensure that the Dhamma was kept pure and compiled in a book called, the council called it Katavatu. This is called the controversy. It's among disagree. So all this book came out. This is in the Abhidhamma. And this the council, the really Abhidhamma was fully authenticated. Okay? But they believe that the Sutta and Vinaya was sufficient for them to have Abhidhamma in the first, second council, according to this Sri Lanka text. So in this book, it consists of 23 chapters and it's a collection of discussion and point of controversy. All the heretics which point out the various points which is not present in the early Buddhism. So it gives refutation of the heretical views held by various Buddhist sects on matters philosophically. One of the most significant achievements ascribed by Theravada tradition to this Dhamma assembly, and one which has to bear fruit for centuries to come, was the emperor sending forth of monks to neighboring countries to spread Buddhism far and wide. In this third council, this Asoka, the king Asoka, as a big beneficiary of Buddhism, because after that, the Buddhism disappeared from India. And then what happened? Because of this bringing of this Buddhism out from India. That's why the Theravada was able to preserve until today. So all the three Tipitaka were rehearsed by the assembly of monks and fully authenticated. And those expelled monks form another sect. And they call this one even worse. For more monks, they call themselves Mahasangika, which flourished in northern India. This is the good starting course of this Mahayana Buddhism. Okay? So third Buddhist council, remember why, cause, place, and then the result. All these you all must go back and totally recall. In my notes, in my slide, all written down there. Please go back and revise and over again. Okay, very fast. Now come to Sutta Pitaka. You need to know for year one, what is Sutta Pitaka? Sutta Pitaka is one of the three main divisions of Tipitaka, the sacred scripture of Theravada Buddhism. It's a collection of discourses or sutta attribute to Buddha and his closest disciple, which contain the essential teaching of the Buddhist path. So here you find all the Dhamma discourses all here. So in this, you need to know about Sutta Pitaka is that it's divided into various Nikaya. So the Sutta Pitaka itself is divided into 5 major collections, which is called Nikaya. So you must know what's inside Sutta Pitaka. Digha Nikaya. Digha means big. So it's collection of long discourses. Majjhima Nikaya. Majjhima means middle or medium. It's a collection of middle length discourses. And then Samyutta Nikaya. Here is a collection of connected discourses. And then Anguttara Nikaya, collection of numerical discourses. If you come to this, Anguttara is all in one to numbering to 10. All this number. If you have chance, go and read. And Khuddaka Nikaya, collection of shorter texts. So I won't be going each text. For those in year 1 and year 2, please go back and read through again. YMBA funny, test you what right inside. You need to able to recall. Okay? So please go back and revise. I only can give you a surface only. I know it not difficult, right? 5. So remember what are the 5? What is inside the 5? Okay. So finish the Sutta Nikaya. We go Pitaka. We go to the next one. Digha Nikaya contains long discourse in which the Buddha expounded the fundamental aspect of doctrine and philosophy, such as Four Noble Truths and Eightfold Path. Okay. You also find the, what I call it, all the long discourses all have to be here, especially the Brahmajala Sutta is also here, long one. Majjhima Nikaya, it contains middle-length discourses in which the Buddha expound on a wide range of topics, such as ethics, meditation, and wisdom. Then Samyutta Nikaya contains discourses grouped together according to the thematic similarity and includes teaching on etiquette, the senses, dependent origination, and many other topics. That's why you can find Abhidhamma thing down here, especially the etiquettes. Anguttara Nikaya contains numerical discourses in which the Buddha explains his teaching using a list of items arranged in ascending numerical order, like 5 etiquettes, 6 sense base, 7 factors of enlightenment. So whatever with number, you can check Anguttara Nikaya. Khuddaka Nikaya contains a diverse collection of shorter texts, including Dhammapada. Dhammapada is down here. Total 423 verses, on which the Buddha teaching, the Udana. Udana is a collection of short discourses attributed to Buddha, and Jakarta story, a collection of stories about Buddha's previous lives. And then Sutta Pitaka here provides a comprehensive record of the Buddha's teaching and roadmap for the Buddha path, offering guidance on how to live skillful and virtuous life, cultivate wisdom, compassion, and attain liberation from suffering. So please go back, read thoroughly again, remember all the Nikayas. Not difficult. You eat the rice slowly, don't one time. Took 5 bowls of rice, you're going to starve it, you're going to choke yourself. Okay, year 1, some more. So you can't remember, now's the time for you to remember. There are different kinds of dana. Okay? We need to know what are the kinds of dana. Amisa dana is a term used to practice of material giving or giving a material object as a form of generosity. This type of giving involves offering material objects such as food, clothing, shelter to others as an act of kindness and support. This term applies not only to monks but also to other people who are in need. So amisa dana is a material form. The act of giving material object is seen as a way to cultivate a sense of generosity and gratitude, as well as to reduce selfishness and greed. The recipient of gift is seen as a source of merit, and by offering material objects to them, one can generate positive karmic energy and create a harmonious and compassionate world. So when you're doing this dana, especially material, please have the aspiration that you are getting rid of your selfishness, your greediness. So by practicing doing this, you'll be less greedy. So encourage as a practice in daily life with the aim of cultivating a spirit of generosity and kindness towards others. So whatever kind of dana they send, they especially short question or whatever, you must be able to write. The next dana is abhaya dana. It refers to the practice of giving the gift of fearlessness and protection to others. This type of giving involves offer protection, safety, and security to those who are vulnerable or in danger as an act of kindness and support. I mean, in terms of danger, somebody on a month require it, you're able to assist in giving protection to them. This is called abhaya dana. So it's an important practice of Buddhism. It's seen as a way to cultivate positive qualities of character, such as compassion, kindness, and bravery. It's also seen as a way of accumulate merit, which can help to bring about positive circumstances and conditions in this life and future lives. Especially in Sri Lanka, they always give this abhaya dana. That means you're saving the cow from slaughterhouse and let them free. They expected to be free and then work in a farm. So this cultivate a sense of generosity and care, as well as to reduce fear and anxiety. So the recipient of this gift is seen as a source of merit by offering protection or safety to others. One can generate positive karmic energy and create a harmonious and compassionate world. So this is the second one. Next one, the third one. Dhamma dana is a practice of offering the gift of Dhamma or the teachings of Buddha as a form of generosity. This type of giving involves sharing knowledge of the Buddha with others, to offering of books, I mean printing of Buddhist book, attending talks or meditation class, or support Buddhist institution. Like me doing this is a Dhamma dana, I mean giving Buddhist teaching to you people. So considered as an important practice as a way to cultivate positive qualities of character, such as wisdom, compassion, non-attachment. It's also seen as a way to accumulate merit in which can help to bring about positive circumstances and conditions in the life and future lives. So the act of giving the gift of Dhamma is to cultivate a sense of generosity, compassion, as well as support or spiritual development of oneself and others. So the recipient of the gift is seen as a source of merit, and by sharing the teaching of Buddha, one can generate positive karmic energy and create a more harmonious and compassionate world. So next one, we'll talk about Sila. There are three important factors of Buddhist teaching: Sila, Samadhi, and Panna. These are the basic Buddhist teaching for spiritual development of humans. So objective is to discipline and keep away from evil done to the door of senses. So when you practice discipline, is to restrain yourself from opening the doors of the sense towards evil. So for the year one, I need to talk about all this. Remember it well. There are 4 types of Sila: Bhikkhu Sila, Bhikkhuni Sila, Samanera Sila, and Gahata Sila. Gahata means, Sila means householder. So as a layman, we take 3 refuge, 5 precept, 8 or 10 precept on full moon day or day of convenient observance. So as a practicing Buddhist, we need to take this when you call yourself a Buddhist. Next one, Samanera Sila. It refers to the precept or rules of conduct observed by novice monk. These precepts are set 10 rules. They only another 10 more than us, and are considered essential for the spiritual progress of a Samanera. Next one is Bhikkhuni Sila. It refers to the precept or rules and conduct observed by the fully ordained nuns. So in the Patimokkha stated that there are 311 rules for bhikkhunis, covering a wide range of topics, such as behavior, conduct, and so on, so on. Okay, so all these are the various types of Sila, and then we have the final one, the Bhikkhu Sila. Refers to the precept or rules of conduct observed by fully ordained Buddhist monks. These precepts are the foundation of the monastic life and are essential for development of mental, spiritual quality, such as mindfulness, ethical conduct, and wisdom. So in Patimokkha, for monks, there are 227 rules of bhikkhus, covering wide of topics such as also conduct themselves. So all these, go back and refresh yourself again. Some more, no end. So akusala karma. Kaya akusala karma, unwholesome action to the door of the body, which are the kind of commitment you make for bad karma. For body, taking away of life. Dana, taking away what is not given, stealing, and kama michara, and chastity, adultery, and give many heart to every woman or every man. And then we talk about Vachi akusala karma, unwholesome action done to the door of speech. Okay? This one, especially we people, we are very careful of the mouth. All these are very easy to commit. Like musawada, speaking untruth. Pisuna wada, vacha, slandering. Parusa vacha, abusive language. Then sampada, lapa, idle talk. All these are those things that come out of my mouth which cause all those unpleasant things. And next one, mano akusala karma, unwholesome action to the door of thought. Thought like abhicca, greed, ill will, then wrong views. All these are those akusala karma. All these tested, please go back and read up yourself. Then for akusala, we kusala. Kaya kusala karma, wholesome deeds to the door of body, abstain from cake, the opposite of the unwholesome, abstain from stealing, abstinence from sexual misconduct. And then vachi kusala karma, wholesome deed to the door of speech. And you are telling the truth, no telling of slandering, no abusive language, and no idle talk. Then mano kusala karma, wholesome deeds to the door of thought. You got no greed, non-ill will, and non-wrong views. Okay, So this is the kusala karma. Please go back and read. Need to remember all this. For your last 4 years never touch, please go back and read and read and read. I know Anna still got some more. 10 methods deed. What are they? Giving or generosity, dana. Having offering of material, time, and support to others. Important, no expect any return. Observation of moral precept, sila. This include the 5 precept or 8 precept or rules of conduct of monks and nuns. Mental cultivation, bhavana. This include developing of mindfulness, concentration, insight to meditation or other spiritual practice. And reverence or respect. This includes showing respect and honor to the elders, teachers, and those who are worthy for respect. And service or helpfulness. This included providing service assistance to others, especially those in need. And next one, transfer of merit. This involves the dedicated merit to one's good deed to others, especially those who have passed away. And then rejoicing in others' merit. It involves rejoicing the good deeds and accomplishments of others. Then listening to Dhamma. This includes listening to the teaching of Buddha and other spiritual teachers. And teaching of Dhamma. This includes the sharing the teachings of the Buddha and helping others to understand and practice the Dhamma. And straightening one's view. This included examining and correcting one's own view and understanding of the Dhamma. Go back for year 1. You go back must understand clear understanding of the Mangala Sutta and Metta Sutta. Your brother got no time to go thoroughly through again. It will be very, very long time. So go back and you are expected to translate every stanza from Pali to English. Okay? And able to explain the detail of question, asking the knowledge of each stanza in own expression in accordance to the YMBA text. Sometimes they ask this particular stanza, for what purpose? You need to know also. Okay? Next thing you need to handle, go back also, Dhammapada. You tested 10 verses, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 13, 14, 16, 21, 37. So you need to translate it from Pali to English. And if you got the time, if possible, write the storyline behind each verse. You got a lot of time. It's optional. You cannot recall a story on exam day, then forget it. Okay. Just do a translation will do. This one completed year 1. So give myself 5 minutes. We will continue part 2. I will give it to this sister Sumita to distribute to you people. But please go back and refer back all the notes. Thank you.